non-facts just bulking the case up for them, right? And they're going on about David Turner. In our trial, they're going on about Pancake, Turner, this shooting, that, this, that, this, that. And I'm saying to Mark, he's in the cell with me now, Mark. I was Irish cell shade, but I could pick who I wanted. Like I had Wes Brown for a year, then Mark. And I'm saying to Mark, you're going home, stay away from Turner. This is what I'm begging him, basically. I might be getting life off here, but when you get out, you stay away from Turner. Now, the difficulty Mark had was the house he was going back to, his Mars in Verzachley, was right next door to David Hibbs' house, where he was based at that time. So I'm saying to Mark, because I'm on the ball, me, I know what's happening here. I'm saying to Mark, there's a major operation ongoing right now. There's a massive operation ongoing right now. Do you understand? And that's why the PII hearings were coming into the case, because they didn't want to share too much. So when they're coming out with somewhere going, well, what this and where did you get that and how did you get that information, they're going, PII. So I'm saying to Mark, there's a madness going on outside with that firm there. Don't go near them. I won't, lad. He's landed out, and within 16 months of him getting off this murder trial, soon as he's got landed out, he's landed in this crazy smuggling operation. You know, where there's been string and swag through and that. During them being under observations for that, there's been a madness kicked in with this kid called Mikey Wright. Over a girl. All madness is kicked in over a girl, a bit of graft or whatever. Kids, basically. It's gone off. Bam, 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 bam. One thing's led to another. Mark, who was with me, allegedly, well, he's convicted. So Mark, who was Mike O.D., 18 months before, I'm telling him, stay away from this firm. Make sure you stay away from them, they've roasted him. He hasn't. He's got jumped right in the middle of this smuggling operation. During the smuggling operation, they've got into a beef with this Mikey Wright. Mark and a few of the lads that was round David Hibbs have been going for a scran, come across this Mikey Wright sat in the KFC, got on the phone while they're under obs. Now in the trial, even then, they were saying, oh, it was a firm of coppers, but they were watching thieves. Do you get what I'm saying? Even then, they're protecting other operations. So these have gone for a scran, come across this Mikey Wright in the KFC, got on the phone, it's all under obs, bang, this kid's being murked in the KFC. A few months later, they took them in, not on the M charge, on the drug smuggling. Took them on in this drug smuggling charge, ran them in jail. On remand for a couple of years, then went back in and got them on the M. Slammed them. 42s, 48s, 38s. Gone. Gone. So let's look who was on a trial with me. Well, just look at the names that I've mentioned there. Yeah, just listen to these names. Sanjay, Scott Walker, Mark Richardson, David Hibbs Turner, Campbell, Woolley. I'm just mentioning the murderers of had round me who's been lifed off. These are people that's been round me on our estate, and they're lifed off. And they're the one, I'm forgetting a few. There's loads of lads I've met growing up and they're lifed off or dead. Loads of them. I can't count them on hands. Mad, innit? Loads. Like, let's just think who was like round me. Yeah, Liam Kelly was round us when we were younger. He was blasted by another kid that was round us called Campbell. He's lifed off for it. Campbell's with Kevin Parley. Kevin Parley done Lucy Hargreaves. Kevin Parley's dead. You still got that ex-copper just trying to keep himself relevant like he's not dead. Told them years ago. Got murked years ago, Kevin Parley. Why? So Downsy and Kirk Bradley couldn't be convicted on the Lucy Hargreaves murder. That's why they weren't convicted on the Lucy Hargreaves murder, because of Kevin Parley missing in the trial. It's all fact. Yes, Anne. So yeah, PII hearings, they're using them a lot to get away with everything. So all this mad shit that you're hearing now, you see Encro? Do you know how many coppers up and down the country was involved in Encro and corruption? Do you know how they're keeping that shush? PII hearings. You're not hearing none of that shite, are you? You're hearing all criminals and all drug dealers getting nicked on this Encro chat. You haven't heard one copper. How strange, isn't that? What is PII? Public immunity interest. Public interest immunity. Or the other way. Has that been getting some of his... He's knocking at the floor there. Yes, Kelly, you good? There was an officer arrested in that operation, wasn't there? Which one? Look, mate. You know when he was trying to kill me in Anfield? 2 coppers came to me, Ken, at 3:30 in the morning. The only reason he never done what they had planned is because I told him the room was bugged. Just to let yous know you're getting recorded now. Same 2 coppers. They were training in peak fitness. And I'm screaming about them in peak fitness and judging and all that. And then all of a sudden, I've got the 2 coppers that are training there, knocking at my door in uniform at 3:30 in the morning. Looking to stitch me. Not lying, you know. You know who it was? Anyway, this is what it's like. Don't think it's not like this, you know. Years ago, you would never see coppers training with criminals, and I was shocked when I first seen it happening. The first time I seen policemen training with criminals was on Edge Lane. We'd had these coppers terrorising us on our estate, right? Bird, Jude, Callaghan, all these mad coppers, right? Dirty, stitch-up coppers, all casing us. So I've ended up going to this gym with Snowy. He was like the Farley's little underdog. He used to run round for champ and that. And he was Billy's mate and we got on a little bit. So I went to the gym with him. I've gone in there and I'm seeing Champ training with Bird, spotting him on a bench. I'm seeing Mick Donnelly standing there with other coppers that come on our estate and fight the stitches. And then it all made sense. Because we used to ask ourselves, why the coppers targeting us? Why are these busies targeting us like this? Leaving all them, coming for us. All them could graft, all Mick Donnelly's grafters, all Champ's grafters could run all over the gaff. The G's couldn't. Had firms of coppers stitching us, beating us up and shit. Go to Edge Lane, there's all the same coppers mixing with the Farleys. I'm not lying. Big Alan, Champ, Mick Donnelly, all mixing with these coppers that would stitching us up on a regular. So don't think it doesn't happen. Alright? And that's not lying, that's not bullshitting, that's fact. You've always done it. Started in the early 70s, 80s with Big Frank Lowe. He had a gym in Seal Street, off Dale Street in Town Centre, and all the coppers from the Bridewell used to go to that gym, and that's how they got close. Yes, let's keep it going, people, let's keep it going. Choose a life, not a knife, Darren. Let's not start talking about all these people because they get me shut down. they're in the public eye now, aren't they? They can't be seen to be that way inclined. So when you've got me, a truth speaker, screaming at the top of his lungs. Yes, Kelly, Emma, you good? Honey Bear, hope you're well, mate. Remember the Bridewell. Yes, Darts, the Bridewell, that. Poor Scroggy. HMP used to get fed in there. We were going there since about the age of 16. The normal police stations couldn't handle us, so we just get sent in the Bridie, mate. Used to get put in Walton Lane there, like the door off its hinges. Just got a few get the Bridewell. Because they never used to have custody suites years ago. So all them little shit plod shops that you see used to have cells in them, a cell block. And when we got put in them, we just take an hiding off the feds, like. But there was no cameras or nothing in them back in them days. Yous are lucky, yous lot, mate. Yous haven't got a clue what a beating is, mate. We were getting dragged into cell 13 and 12 in the Bridewell. You know what we used to do? Roll us up in a mattress and batter us with truncheons. We're only kicking off for a pot of water or something. Handlebars. Started as soon as you got in. You'd come from Walton Lane. Don't forget me and our Danny, there's like 8 months between us. So I'm the same age as Danny for 2 months. Or like a month, I think it is. So Danny will turn my age in November. Then in December, I'll go a year older. That makes sense? So say I'm 35 and Danny's 34. Danny will become 35 with me for a month and then I'll be 36. So anyway, we'd end up in this Bridewell and they used to feed you HMP at mad hours. What's HMP? Hamburgers, mash and peas. That's what they give you at 12 o'clock. Hamburgers, mash and peas, and the hamburger was like a plastic plate. One bite would give you the jaw like a steg head. And then that's all they'd give you until 8 o'clock. They'd come with a jam and spam butty and a cup of tea. Jam and spam butty, like. And they did, it was just like. They were very generous with spam. Not so generous with the jam. Do you get what I'm saying? The spam, like, what is that shit? So you'd have me and our Danny, like 15, 16, and like 30-year-old smackheads rattling, and I mean back in the day rattling. I'm just like me and our Danny like that. Shut up! Banging on the door, get us out! Stop banging on the door, we told you once. Bang, 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 bang. Gee, we won't tell you again, quieten down. I'm getting dragged down there, looking at our Danny coming with me. Where are we going? Tiled floor, they don't give a shit like that. Bang, 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 bang. Steel coat taps, steel toe caps, not these army boots what they wear today. I'm talking like working boots just coming at you. Bang, snapping a rib off one shot. Like that. To stop you bruising up. They'd get you in a mattress, roll a mattress up and just go in with the truncheons. They had special truncheons though, like, well, look, when you've got a bobby on the beat, you've got a little shit rounder's bat. When you've got a bobby on a horse, you've got a cosh. And that's what they were using. The batten's what the horse police use. Why ain't you in? On a regular though, why? Because we were there on a regular. Regular, every other weekend wearing a Bridewell course and mares come out trying to fight them and that like that. Bailed out of there, of course. Got into the yard. Start as soon as you go in with handlebars. You walk up these steps. The bus will go in, the shutters will come down, you'd have these little shit steps down the door. You'd go in and right in front of you, you just have this big dirty desk with this flat cap. With a thin muzzy like that. Looking down. You can't even see the spot. He's got a flat cap, you can just see him. Like a German. Get here. Get to the counter. You put your hands up. Get your hands off my counter. You told me to put them on. Don't get cheeky with me. You got the river. Shut it. Dragged out. Straight round to the cell. Left to recover. Open the door. Are you ready to speak to me with respect? Yeah. Back round to the desk. We're keeping you in custody till tomorrow. It's not even till tomorrow. You're getting nicked on the Friday, and then you've got a bank holiday for Monday. It's like 4 days in there. It's horrendous. You've shut it down now. What an experience that was, the bridal. So years ago, you had yous have got Matrix now. Matrix came on the back of us. I know it's nothing to be proud of, but it was formed on the back of us, the Matrix. Before then, you had the neighbourhood policing team. Before the neighbourhood policing team, you had operational support division. And every 10 or 15 years, you got a new firm kicking, and Matrix has been the last one. But I tell you now, 10 years down the line, it'll be called something else. Why? Because it'll get shut down for being mad. It's pure. So basically, neighbourhood policing teams were like strong arm, beat you up type of police. It's not like the police today. So basically, the neighbourhood policing teams were like ARVs without the guns. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Same attitude, same... So when we got took out by the neighbourhood policing team. But as soon as they took us out, they reinvented themselves and called them the Matrix Anti-Gang Unit on the back of us. Because we were like the first... So, we were like the first street gangs to come about. Do you understand? Us and anyone that associated with us were like the street gangs of the areas. So it was like, there was only 3 street gangs back in the day. You had us, Norris Green and Crocky. All the others came later. And you might as well say that, like, Crocky was us. Because Wes, Blake and Dean and all that was always on our estate with our Danny and us. So there was only like, you know, we were the first like street gangs, if you like. Before us it was all families. So you hear of the G's, don't you? And it's like a family name, isn't it? And then after the G's, who have you got? Who have you got after the G's? You can hear all the old names from back in the day, but then eventually you're going to get to the G's, and then after that it's L20, Nogsy, Fairnill Boys, Crocky Crew, Height and Mandem. Do you get what I'm saying? There's no family name there no more. We were the last and the first, if that makes sense. We was the last like family name and the first gang name, if you like, if that makes sense. We brought the new flow. And you ask anyone that's had the amount of time to watch what happened, they'll tell you we changed the dynamics of organised crime. We've give all these other kids opportunities to control their city. Before us, no one had the option. That's what we done. And I say it's not being big-headed or trying to big us up. I'm just telling that was the dynamics. That's the relevance of the G. name in the world of criminality in Liverpool. That's why it'll always be relevant. You've got loads of crazy criminals coming through on a mad one for a couple of years, but their names not going the distance like the G name. Why? Because it was like a turning point in the history of crime in the city. Honest, powerful, innit? If you think about it. So look, see the way we weren't liked. This is how it happened. This is how it all came about. You see the way when we're kids, because we aligned ourselves with the Guild days, basically. There was only so many families in the area at that time. If you were in South, you had the Fitzgibbons. I mean the dads, not the sons. Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, the dads and the sons. And it weren't just them. In the South, you had a couple of families that dominated there. And then in the North, you had a couple of families that dominated here. And it was like the Gildays, the Farleys, the Bennetts, and people like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, if you remember me telling you years ago, I was on a day out from Dyson Hall, on the estate walking up, a girl got knocked over. I ended up taking the girl to an house, bumped into this family called the Gildays. Well, that's me around the Gildays. And because I'm around the Gildays and these Farleys are hating on them, I'm hated by the Farleys, even though my older brother mixes with them. And some of the youngster lads that hang around come near me like Snowy. I'm still hated by them. So it made it. So when Tommy and everyone's passed away and I'm by myself basically, the G's are by themselves. Billy gets tethered off them every time we tether them. Billy will get a slap off them but still be round them. So it made it difficult for us to establish ourselves. Why? Because there's only two brothers behaving like us, and it's me and Danny. The others aren't doing what we're doing. They're just ending up because of what we're doing, if that makes sense. So, for us to establish ourselves, what we started doing was telling the boys that we were doing jail with, come to our estate when you get out, lads. So now on our estate, instead of having the gang of Farleys, or the gang of them, or the gang of them, now you've got two G's with a gunman from Crocky, a crazy kid from Dingle, a crazy kid from Bootle, another kid from Mighton, and we're all on our estate. So now we're a gang. We're not a family. We're a gang. Why? Because we've got associates from all different places coming together on our estate. And this upset them. Why? Because now we've got kids that are not from our area, grafting in our area, and they can't do shit about it. And what you're seeing now in every area is kids from down there in L50 sitting in L6 selling swag with kids from L6. And that's the shit we started. Back in the day, that weren't tolerated. You couldn't be round here selling swag. And these are all the things that we sort of brought into play. So even like the way we were dressing. So when Wes and that had come up to ours, they'd be coming up with Fat Farm big outs on. We'd have our Lacoste and shit, you know, the stripy Lacoste and shit. But they've had these American things. Wes, back then, he'd have his own medallion. A gun with things with whatever his name was on here. He's had that for years. But when we've gone down to theirs, one day we've gone down to theirs, we've had to reshape us. Why? Because we're bang on. We're getting harassed by feds and no one else is. Why? Because they're working with the Farleys, so we were getting tethered. So we've had to adapt to the constant pressure off the feds. So now we're all dressed in black. We're wearing berghouses. We're standing on the corner 24/7 through the night now. Making dough 24/7, crack den sort of thing. No one else is moving like us because they're not getting harassed and pressured off the feds like us. So they can still stand there in these luminous tracksuits. We've got to be blacked out. If we see feds, we've got to be in the shadows so they can't pounce on us. So we're developing different. So when we're flying down to Crocky to see Wes, we're all turning up, blacked out, militant, and they're standing there like a pack of Americans, all luminous, caps on back to front and shit, and thinking, what the Didn't take long before everyone cottoned on. Over night time, when you're standing there in them luminous white khakis, you're sticking out like a sore thumb. What gave them that idea? Because when they'd go past ours, they wouldn't see us. And when any of our enemies cruised past our estate, they wouldn't even know we were there till a bullet scraped the car. Do you get what I'm saying? So all these things is what you're witnessing now on the streets. So for example, you're seeing all these kids running around on bikes, doing drugs on bikes, that weren't even seen before we done it. No one was doing it anywhere. Never mind just Liverpool. Anywhere, no one. We were first to do it. Especially in Liverpool. Why? Again, because we were the only kids that were getting pressure off the feds. So we had to start doing things to keep the phone ticking over. We had to do things to keep the graph going. So years ago, everyone would just be in cars. Everyone had a car, they'd have a phone on. Around, drop off next. That's the way it'd be. And that's the way everyone was moving. Everyone. Doesn't matter where you was, that's how you were moving back in the day. You had some kids that came in like with the Crackdown episode. No one had ever seen that before, but the Gilberts from Toxic just smashed Liverpool with that. That was like an advancing. So what they do is just get an house, board it up, and deal through the letterbox till the feds shut it down and move to a next one and move to a next one and move to a next one. But they'd make $500,000 off each house. So because we're under all this pressure, they'd be able to float around in their cars and wouldn't get pulled all day and rammed off the road and grabbed, but we would. So feds would just ram us off the road and start grabbing the kids out and choking them and getting bits off them. So to combat that, we said, fuck it, we'll go on bikes. We'll bring the bikes, and that's how we started doing it on bikes. On top of that, to protect the phone, to protect the graft, because when you're in a car, you got the phone on you. Every time you get the phone, you've got to start the shit out again, get your number going again, bam. So what we started doing before anyone was sitting over there with a phone and giving him another phone, and you'd phone him every 10 minutes or something, give him who to go to, and I'd sit there, answer it, and then ring there and go there, shh, go there, shh, go there. And all this was brought in to stop the feds from killing our graft off. Eventually the kids on the bike were getting bonneted, getting choked, swag not able to swallow, going to jail. So we removed the bikes. The phones were getting tacked, so we removed the phones. And there you go. What did it end up as? A 24/7 crackdown. It was an open air drug market on the Grisdale estate 24/7. You didn't need to phone. We wouldn't go and meet you. You just come in, get off with whatever you needed. And because we ended up in that sort of place, we robbed everyone's customers. Why? Because all them would leave Anne's Obbo on the corner for 25 minutes, treating her like shit. When all she'd have to do is walk for 2 minutes to our estate like it was a shop, walk in the shop, bang, and get back off. So because we had that niche, instead of punters waiting there, going from town and going over there and waiting there for 20 minutes, to just walk from town to our estate, get what they want and get off. They'd slam it in a taxi at the bottom, get the shit, get off. No waiting around, just bam, 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 bam. So we started incentivising them then. You buy 10, you get 1 free. So the white was 0.2s, the bobby was 0.3s. So if they're coming with a 1er, they're getting 2 grams, then a 0.2 for themselves. So what you have with these addicts, you have house is where they'll all go and base. And if you can get the main person in that house and they get all the people's money, that main person gets 3 things for herself. So it's in her own interest to come to you. No one else is giving 0.2s out anywhere. We're just undercutting everything and no one's liking it. And that's why it's on with everyone in the area. Why? Because we're just taking it and no one can stop us. They tried to jump on board later on. Willie Moore got out of jail after shitting on Tommy years ago. Put it on us, give us a scratch, got jogged on, got upset about it, tried to move in on our graft, and it created a mad war, and I went to jail. And that's what happened, lad. Mad life. Got Jen saying you were a victim. Everyone in that life's a victim. You've just got a mindset, haven't you, Jen? Just coming out with that sort of shit. Your head's gone in it. The way you're speaking tells me you're off that life yourself. Yes, Kelly, Emma. Hope you well, Jane, lad. M saying it's survival. You're a survivor. We all are in our own little way. Some of us just go through a lot more. So we are more of a survivor than someone who hasn't. Why? Because we've survived more. We've got through a lot more. We've endured a lot more situations in life. We've embraced them. We haven't panicked. We haven't got scared and got through them. And because we've got through them, we gain a lot of knowledge. That's what survivors have got, knowledge. You haven't got knowledge if your head's full of text. That's not knowledge. You might be the brainiest in the classroom, but there's no knowledge in there. Knowledge comes with experience, doesn't it? Doesn't come through a textbook, does it? Yes, Kelly, ma. Yes, funky lad. And mistakes. Well, that's experience. Every mistake is a learning curve, isn't it? Every mistake is a learning curve. And if you don't learn, you'll end up dead off your mistakes. Fact. Yes, Chancel. Kelly, la. Let's get rid of a few dickheads. Like 4 accounts screaming for a mention. Family for wrong on the right. Let's get rid of them. It's all good, people. Keeping it real. What time is it? 1:12. Let's get rid of the helmets screaming for a mention. Get out of here, you crack smoking rats. Was wondering, was that G. James and a relative, poor thing, who was in a park, only 16? No, and he's not. I think his mum made that quite clear years and years ago. Yes, sub. It's mad, isn't it? Mad, mate. If you're liked by the drug dealing families, everyone will work with you. If you're not, no one will work with you. They work against you. And that's exactly what happened. Instead of embracing Darren G's message, because he'd spoke about certain people he couldn't, so they had to invent some shit one that hasn't made a difference in the city. They've had a message in the city that Joe Anderson and a couple of criminals put their heads together and established this message. And they've had thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds pumped into it every year for years and years and years. And you got little Ava White stabbed to death in the city centre. And all the rest. So they all backed a message that was shit and is still shit and doesn't make a difference. It just puts charity events on and makes money. It's not preventing no kid from picking a knife up. It's coming in and making people better because someone's died from a knife. It's different. Do you understand what I mean? And this isn't me being paranoid. You know, there's people out there that know what was going on behind the scenes when it came to me and my message. And there was deliberate attempts, not just by council, not just by the gangsters, but by the police as well, to silence my message. You had kids getting suspended from school because they were shouting, "Choose a life, not a knife, oh father alive, Darren G." They were getting suspended from school. What? Getting told it was a gang slogan. Honest to God, I'm not lying, mate. You had young lads getting suspended from school because they were screaming a gang slogan, "Choose a life, not a knife." Rush to the bush. That's all mad things, and the kids were loving it, screaming "Choose a life, not a knife" all over the school. All over most schools were screaming "Choose a life, not a knife," and the kids were getting suspended or put in detention for doing it. Honest, mad, mate. And these were all efforts by Liverpool Council to shut my message down. It's only one person that can tell a school. It's the council. Any instructions to schools, it comes from high up there. So when you've got all the schools, I'm not just talking one school, I'm talking multiple schools, like they're being sent a memo. This is a gang slogan, stop your kids speaking about it. And they were getting punished. Honest. Mad that, isn't it? But that's the levels they were going to, like. Weird. Why? Because it's Darren G. I'd love to know what that system's done to us, you know. We weren't bad for that system to come on us and do what they done to us. You know this Uncle Danny who you usually hear me screaming about, this big rich man in a suit with a briefcase, and you see that, you know my shit from years ago, he's someone big within the system of Liverpool, and honest, and that's why we've been getting harassed since kids, probably so we couldn't remember this. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's probably thousands of kids out there where they've been absolutely quietly harassed by the authorities. It's mad, you know. It's just weird what happened to our family, the way they broke us down. I know we had like little mad issues going on, but the way they just focused on us, we were bad, but there was well worse people. You'd had some naughty like families of brothers. We were just all young. You know what? This is what I said. Over the years I've always thought and I've always started to think about why. And the only thing without anything suspect going on is this. You see, years ago, the power of the family started raising its head, and the government got really shit scared of powerful families. And what they started doing on the back of the Crays and the Richardsons and families like this from the 70s, and they were like the first real families, right? It sort of spread up the country, and you had all mad families becoming very dominant in their cities, taking the power from the police in the communities. So most people would go to Doorman and Tommy if their house got burgled, they wouldn't ring feds or look for a policeman. And this is the power of the family back in the day, and this is how powerful we're becoming. So what they've done is when they took these families out back in the day, they've identified upcoming families who could cause a potential risk to the establishment, the way the Crays did, the way the Richardsons did, the way the Gildays did, all these like families did. So what they started doing was observing families with 5 brothers, 4 brothers who were unruly on the estate, identifying us as these families that are going to be dominant when they get older. And they target you to break you down. And that's what I think they're doing, man. We've been doing that for a couple of decades now, because if you look at every family who's got 3 or 4 brothers and they're handy with themselves, got a little bit of a reputation establishing themselves, they just get persecuted off the fence. Harassed, pulled, door kicked in, social service on them, splitting yous up, you're banned from your Mars, you can live down there. You know, just getting the siblings away from each other, like breaking them down instantly because they can't form properly. Imagine me and my brothers around each other. No prison, no isolation, no he's in care there, he's in jail there, he's down there. Imagine we were all formed. Imagine how powerful we would have became. Because we're all separate entities. Like, you hear the G's, but it's not the G's. You know, you've got Darren G and you've got Danny G. That's it. You've got Stephen who's on a mad one. You've got Billy who's on his own little mad one. You've got Ian who's just not ever been on a mad one. Do you get what I'm saying? Just Danny and Darren G. That's the G's. But even then, me and Danny, from kids, I think we've been in a community together for 3 years. Since the age of... So we went into care at 13 and 14, I think, around them ages or something like that. Me and Danny was on the same unit in Dyson Hall when we first got dragged in. We were on the same unit for so many months. And then Danny's been dragged into secure unit. And then that's it. We're in and out of YPs, we don't see each other. When Danny's allowed out of care, because of his age, then we see each other again. 18, bang, we can see each other again. But even then, we've gone into all course together. So when we've finally got round each other again, we've done a madness, ended up in all course together, and locked the jail down and destroyed it, and got barred from being in the same prison together from then on. So from when we were kids, because of what we'd done in Old Course Prison when it first opened, we have never been able to be in the same prison anywhere in the country together. So right through our jail, although we're in the system for years and years together, they've never allowed us to be in the same prison. So we've never seen each other. So when we get out, 2000s, me and Danny have got like a little 18 months together on the streets. And look at the name of 18 months together. They're lucky they put us in jail. I'm lucky I never got my L plates. Danny's very unlucky he got his IPP. And this is what they do to you. They know who the real threats are. They know what kids on the estate are game and what's not. They know who will snitch and who won't. They know, just by looking at them, just by engaging with them for 10 minutes, they know we'll get him talking. He's too hard, he won't talk. Like that. And if you're a little gangbanging firm, and you're moving a little bit of thing and you think you're smashing it, you're doing a few windows and a few legs and the car's being blasted or whatever, you think you're mad. On the fringes of you, you've got some little helmets And they're decent with the boys, you've known them all your life, but when it comes to the crunch, look, you know any pothead that has not been in a cell is going to snitch on you. I don't mean the potheads my age. Why? Because we were a different breed. So years ago, a smackhead, if he got arrested and never got his drugs, he'd snitch. Fact. He'd go into a rattle, withdrawal, and start grassing to get out. They all did. They all do. They all currently do. Don't feed yourself to think they don't. Now, you see these young lads who are smoking this high-grade potent shit. They've never been in a plod shop in their lives, mate, but they're mixing with kids that have. So these kids that have been in plod shops, these kids that have been in the YPs, these kids that are hardened criminals who are doing mad shit, I've got kids round them that wouldn't last 2 minutes in a prison cell, never mind a police cell. And the feds know this. And what they'll do is isolate him when he's not with you. They'll know, they'll watch us all break up at 10:30 of the night. You go that way, he goes that way, you go that way, he goes that. They'll know all this. And they'll just, hello Mr. Blah Blah, where are you going? Is it? Let's search you. You want to take a seat in our car? Just cruise away with him. You know you're in a bad place, you know we're in jail. It's all it takes, a few times, like, and on the books for years. On the books for years. Don't think it doesn't happen, you know. You all think they're bugging your phones, you all think they're they do that shit. Yeah, they do that to substantiate the witness evidence, majority of the time. Honest, you sit there and think, fuck, our phones were bugged. It weren't. It's that kid who got a 6 while you've got 20s. Honest. Oh, it was his first time. It was only then. Oh, right, sound. It's look like, you know when you've got them police women who get killed by Cregan, right? You see Cregan and everyone around him concerned in that offence got major jail, except for Marvin Herbie. A year later, Marvin Herbie is hugging detective police inspectors on stages in Croydon. What? You think what? Do you understand what I'm saying to you, mate? And this isn't me chatting shit. It's out there. And everyone was round. I was just like that, what the Ow! Doesn't happen. Have you been on a murder charge? The stone, nothing gets left. And if you're involved, even if you get acquitted, you're fucked. You know, if you're involved in the murder of 2 policewomen, even if you get acquitted, you're fucked. You're fucked. How you manage to get on a stage a year later with some high-ranking police and hugging them and getting photos taken with them is a miracle to me. It doesn't happen, people. I don't give a shit where you're from. That does not happen. But it's happened with Herbie. Honest to God, lad, trust me what I'm saying. No one seems to it's weird. It's like, no, everyone's just everyone calls me a major wrong'un, and it's the major wrong'uns calling me a wrong'un. If I was a wrong'un, do you think I'd be sat here in a dungeon with a t-shirt that looks horrendous? If I was a wrong'un, mate, I'd be in an apartment. I'd be getting catered for. I'd be able to drive without a licence. Get your shit in a twist. That kid on your estate being bombing round without a licence for the past 5 years, you think he's just pulling a fast one left, right and centre? Sort your heads out, lad, trust me. So I've looked into this, and well, I haven't looked into it recently. The last time I looked into it really was in like 2013, 2014, around them times, 2015. And in them times, 2014, I think it was like 2015 to 2017, someone had done a data protection act to find out how much Merseyside police had paid informants in the city of Liverpool. Guess how much they'd paid out between 2015 and 2017? 2.7 million. Let that sink in there, kid. 2.7 million to paid informants in the city of Liverpool. And that was then. That's over nearly 10 years ago. Imagine what it's like now. You haven't got police on your streets no more. You haven't got mad shit going on no more. You've just got HIRs all over the gaff. Human intelligence resources. That kid that sits on the fence. That kid that just pops up every so often, gets the jangle going. You hear what they're saying, you hear what they're doing. Intelligence, operations. Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money, follow the guns, follow the guns, follow the guns. Not even asked about drugs. Why? Because they're looking at what the threat is down the line. And if they want to lock our streets down, we can't have money and we can't have guns. Why? Because shit gets done. And that's what the case is now over the last 10 years. Yeah, they go drugs, but they're after the cash and they're after the steel. More than most. So when they're in these observations, when they've got these HIRs there, when they've got your car bugged, alright, so listen, you've been floating down, it's been a madness down there months ago, they need an excuse to get your car off you. They've tried to take it away in the night and do business, but they need the car off you. So they arrest you on some mad shit offence. They want to send your car off for ballistics. They've bugged your car up. Now you're in your car flying round, not having a clue, parking up where you always park up, going for your scran where you always park up, with their boys in their car parking up. Some of them have probably got theirs bugged. But the conversation's dead. You know, you're talking about birds, you're talking about the game, you're talking about the weed you're blazing, you're talking about this next rapper. You're not talking about what they expect you to be talking about, the feds. So you're all sitting there having a buzz, and then on the fence comes, what's happening, lad? Yeah, what weed are you smoking? If you heard about the other fella down there putting a bullet in him. What? I heard it was in. Nah, there we go. Now we're building intelligence. Now we're getting the information we need. Where's the gun? The gun. Put a squad on him. There you go, and it's off. 18 months down the line, there's 20 of you getting nicked. You're all blaming your phones and all this shit when it's my man who's not nicked with his. That's how it works. In most cases. More so these days. Why? Because everyone's up for group thinking. You know, years ago, you know, if anyone tried to even get in amongst us, we would be suspect on that. Why? Because we all thought individually. We were like a chaotic organised crime group. We were organised chaos. What does that mean? We're a big group, all thinking for ourselves. So, because we weren't caught up in all thinking alike, we just wouldn't have a dickhead coming in. We'd just go, who's he? Who's he from? Who's his ma? Who's his cousins? Who's he? What the fuck? These days, it's just in. So they can just throw snitches in all over the gaff with you. He's only got to dress well and have a decent weed. Yeah, get a joint, get in, boy. That's it, bang, he's in. A few months later, shit's gone wrong. You haven't even got a clue. No one you hear that, protect your circle. The kids aren't protecting their circles and it's ruining them. How are you, Lewis? Hey Darren, could you do a quick review of my pinned video and let me know your thoughts? I don't really do video reviews, lads. Yes, Lewis, becoming a team member. It's important. Everyone's important till they die, lad. How are you, Tibbs? Lola Bear, good night, God bless, mate. Have a good sleep. What happens when we die, Daz? Depends what type of spirit you've got, mate. Yes, Nora Brady. Depends what type of spirit you've got within, mate. Depends on where you go. If your spirit's full of dirt, full of poison, it's definitely not going to where the majority are going. Probably stay here. You belong here. If your spirit's clean, potent, you're bursting through to the next life, aren't you? Energy, soul, spirit, consciousness. Just like Jesus, the body of Christ, that's what you are. But some of you haven't got Christ in you, and some of us have. The ones that have get set out on a journey which is clean in the energy, clean in the spirit. Why? Because they don't want you in there contaminating shit. So they're going right through you, making sure you haven't got a bad bone in your body. So when you do get there, it's perfect still. There's not a bit of dirt, there's no poisonous mind, there's no dirty spirits. So while you're sat there hating people, doing horrendous things, fornicating, pornicating, all this shit, you're making your energy dirty. And like I'm always saying to you, you are an energy field, and if you're clean and potent in here, your range of vibration is massive. If you're full of dirt, your range of vibration is very small. That's why haters only project so far. It's intense, but it only goes so far. Love, care, goes right out. Why? Because it's pure, it's potent. When you can love yourself, you can love everything else. And a lot of you don't love yourselves because you think it's wrong to love yourself, don't you? Oh, look at him, stuck up his own arse. Why? Because he loves himself. Oh, look at him, he's too confident in himself. Why? Because he loves himself. You can see through, you can see someone that's loving himself, someone that's confident, and then someone that's a prick with his head stuck up his own ass. Do you understand what I'm saying? But because a lot of people don't love themselves, they don't know what they're looking at, so they're getting a lot of shit mixed up. That makes sense? If If you don't love yourself, don't even suggest you love anyone else. Why? Because you only love that other else because of you in them. If you don't like yourself, you can't love your bird. Same with you, girl. If you don't like yourself, you're definitely not in love with your fella. I can't find love. No, you just don't love yourself. Love's available to everyone, but you've got to love yourself first. You can't love a chicken. They just use the word love out of context. When you love yourself, you don't need anyone else to love you. When you respect yourself, that's loving yourself. So you don't need anyone else to respect you. If you respect yourself, people will respect you. If you don't respect yourself, people won't respect you. That's how it is. It's dead simple. But practicing it is difficult. It's like that bolt and that screw. It's simple to do, but if you haven't got the strength, it's impossible. Understand what I mean? I couldn't stay in the room letting a fart off like that. I do live in shame sometimes. Jay Byrne saying Liverpool is the best football team ever. Well, who am I to argue? Can't argue with that, can I? When was you born? Don't tell me you were born in the 2000s, lad, because you don't even know what a great Liverpool team is if you was. Don't tell me you were born after 2005, lad, because you just don't know what a good team is. Mikey saying, Keegan, how are you, Vicky? You cool? Paul saying Everton. Jay Byrne saying 1981. Oh, you're flying then, Jay, aren't you? You were around when Barnesy was showing us skills, lads, weren't you? I was 3. What's going on with me? Why do I think I was alive in the 60s and that? Yes, Lynn. 1978 I was born. It's nearly 50 years, people. 50 popping off like Popeye. Would you like a short one or a long one? Short, long, short, long, short, long one. Well, you can't do it. Get your fella to get his arm out now. Come on, get your fella to get his arm out and see if he can do the short one and the long one. You can't. Your fella hasn't even got a bicep, mate. The biggest bicep curl he's done with a cup of tea, isn't it? What is he, a taxi driver? It's all he does. Drives with his left hand, drinks with his right. There you go, love. Yes, Jay was born when Bobby Sands died. Well, God bless his soul. the soldier. Yes, Peter Pan. Mickey Diesel. How are you, Mickey lad? What's going down, Mickey lad? Darren, how many commando press-ups can you do? Depends if your ma's there, lad, or your bird. When your bird's there, I want to be impressive. When your ma's there, I just want to demolish you. So just do one. Get your ma, demolish you. Why? How many can you do? How are you, Trouble? Nice one for being a subscriber, lad. VIP Beauty Lounge, you're never 47. Why not? What makes you think I can't be 47? Yes, lad. You didn't know I've got the moves, lad. So, yeah. Free Shans. What's up, Free Shans? Mickey Diesel saying top shape. You haven't even seen my shape, lad. Do you want me to get my shape out now? Unfiltered. Not pumped. Nah. Get all me haters fuming. Get all me haters fuming. That's what I'm saying. I've got loads of things that me haters like hate on. I've got my personality. I've got my humour. That's 2. I've got my articulate ways of explaining shit. That's 3. I can fart like a trooper. 4. I've got a body like an athlete. 5. I've got a tingy like a baby's arm. Big 6. The list is endless. That's why I've got endless haters. Just swaying like this is annoying the shit out of my haters right now. Because I'm doing it so romantic. I'm doing it so silky. So velvety. So like organic cottony.